You see, kids, MTV Films was a subsidiary of this TV station. You see, kids, TV stations were these individual channels like a TikToks, except they were all bundled together into something called cable, and MTV was the music television station, and contrary to what the name implies, the best programming on the channel was random hostile strangers living in apartments or RVs, and also it made movies sometimes. Truly still a top 10 credit sequence that was in part thought up by Kip, Aaron Rule, which checks out because he'd 100% eat everything here. I knew the White Stripes before this movie, but I did not, until this very moment, know that this song was the White Stripes. I can't be alone. Oh, dang, I'm alone. Either way, it's become a classic association song like Voodoo People for Hackers, Where's My Mind, and Fight Club, or Bohemian Rhapsody in Wayne's World. Fun fact, Napoleon's student ID with the school year was added after test screenings because we were all so confused when this takes place because rural southern Idaho exists outside space and time, pulling vibes from 1973 to 2012. I mean, I wish I could get my hands on Dr. Makuku's Science and Centaurs, because goodness gracious, that sounds like a captivating volume. But this book is actually Across the Space Frontier from 1952, which really sounds like the right year for teaching kids about space. Now that's an entrance. The horse tee tucked into his jeans, which are tucked into his moon boots, tells us so much without whispering a word. You see, kids, Trapper Keepers were like the Stanley Cups of my day. Zero function, pure status symbol.
What are you gonna do today, Napoleon?
Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh!
Says a lot about this movie that the opening line from the main character does nothing to make us like him, but you'll be cheering for him by the end. This is just the kind of rebel Napoleon is, and is exactly what being a teen in the early 2000s was like. We just kind of did stuff to see what would happen. It's actually a little jarring to see high school age actors in a high school movie because we're so used to 20-somethings pretending. For instance, Hillary's sister Haley Duff is my age, meaning she was 19, nearly the correct age. The slightly flat basketball, the ripped net, every detail feels correct. Also, tetherball is both the worst and best game of all time, and my love and hate for it will never die is The Living Dead.
I told you, I spent it with my uncle in Alaska hunting wolverines. They kept trying to attack my cousins. What the heck would you do in a situation like that?
We all knew this kid with his absurd lies growing up, right? Statistically, some of you should be this kid. Everything about John Heater's performance is stunning. The sly slip around the corner for privacy while he stares back at the front desk lady. Kip's chips are different in every shot, and I feel like at one point the continuity coordinator had to have just said, screw it, let's mess with people. And the best part is the way that Kip keeps looking back at them, both because he wants to finish grating the cheese and eat them, but also because someone is clearly messing with his nachos.
Can you bring me my chapstick?
No, Napoleon.
But my lips hurt real bad.
I'm not going to start a quotable lines counter because it would just be every line. But I'm also not going to pretend like we didn't all hear that line over and over for years after this.
Ugh. Idiot.
Also that one.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a sledgehammer.
You ever take it off any sweet jumps?
2 jump cuts to finish conversations and answer questions. If you don't like these, you don't like movies.
You got like 3 feet of air that time.
Plus, Pedro's jump is downright iconic, emphasized by the hyperspeed pushing on Napoleon. As is Napoleon's attempt. And also, I'm noticing for the first time that the issue is that Napoleon expected the ramp to do the work when you really have to do a lot of the lift yourself. Also, he was missing the middle support block.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Besides, we both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
I know Napoleon is the star, but Kip is a gem, and he's always been my favorite.
Jeez!
You know that slap sound would keep Napoleon happy for a solid month. Younger brothers are allowed to use whatever they have in their arsenal. I don't make the rules, but I did follow them, to my own detriment.
Would you like to look like this?
This is a girl.
Because for a limited time only, glamour shots by Deb are 75% off.
I know that a lot of what seems to make this movie fun is how quirky and weird it is, but for me, it's that I know these people. Sometimes I am them, and I'm not TikTok diagnosing their neurodivergence, but I'm not neurotypical, and I can totally understand plowing right through the pitch because I can't even hear what the person is saying over the sound of my own heart beating or through the fog of sweat, maybe tears. How can I possibly be listening to your words when all I can think about is where I should be looking when you're talking, because the eye contact has gotten way too intense, but now you can tell that I'm staring at the bridge of your nose, can't you? Anyway, anyone else's brain on hard mode with randomized settings? Just me and Enola? Come on, you didn't know? Map Girl from Waterworld.
After 1 week with me in my dojo, you'll be prepared to defend yourself with the strength of a grizzly and the wisdom of a man.
Wisdom of a man with a woman in a headlock is unbeatable marketing. Probably to the wrong kind of people, but no way Rex discriminates.
Trying to earn money for college.
Your mom goes to college.
Perfect timing, Kip. You can tell he was waiting for his moment. I think we can all agree that it's beautiful character continuity that Kip goes for the leg sweep. It's so on brand. The delay on the back of the head slap, almost like he forgot this time.
No more flying solo. You need somebody watching your back at all times.
Up until this moment, Napoleon has clearly been flying solo, but Rex saying he needs someone to watch his back makes him fully become Pedro's friend, which sets everything in motion.
So me and you are pretty much friends by now, right?
Do you think I got where I am today because I dress like Peter Pan here?
Napoleon's throat noise really lands Rex's point.
Take a look at what I'm wearing, people. Do you think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face while I'm wearing these bad boys?
You might be thinking that even with that said, Rex's costume feels over the top, but then you remember strip malls or Facebook. Also, the kicks are what really tie it together. That shirt was classic and amazing in 2004, and it's classic and amazing today. I want it.
Hey, Lyle.
Grandma did say Lyle was going to take care of it.
Getting a little low on steak, so I got Lyle coming over tomorrow to take care of it.
Man, it always gets me. There's nothing wrong with anyone being in a group like this, genuinely, but also, of course, Napoleon's in it, and not that great. Although his butterfly is top tier. Truly an innovator.
She's pretty good looking.
Do you dare me to go talk to her?
Sure.
What a friend. Clearly Napoleon wants to go talk to Deb, so he asks if Pedro dares him to talk to her. A clueless friend would be like, what? Why? But Pedro knows what's up, and that's why he should be class president.
I see you're drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat? Because you're not. You could be drinking whole if you wanted to.
Ladies, I need to tell you that it sounded like such a compliment in his head. I want to pretend like I wasn't this clueless, but dang, our brains, they just, like, what even is, and sometimes, you know, it's just soup. Also, men and boys, let's do better. Say the words gooder, please. That, then. Also, just like the nachos, Deb's face has more and more food on each cut back to her. And wait, isn't Tina's name on a PB&J? It is, and Kip's is on nachos, Rico's is on steak, and Pedro's on the corn dog. Amazing.
I have all your equipment in my locker. Should probably come get it because I can't fit my nunchucks in there anymore.
A+ pronunciation of nunchucks. Look, I know each generation has their Heathers or Rushmore or Harold and Maude. They're 8th grade or super bad. But we had this, and the relatability will not be diminished. Crushes are real hard. Mac's mom goes hard. Also, her shirt says, "My husband and I divorced for religious reasons. He thought he was God and I didn't." And really, this dune bugging is raising a lot of questions already answered by her shirt.
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
Napoleon is out here trying to redefine snack logistics, indeed a culinary disruptor, and the tot tyrant's first instinct is fear-based pocket puffs violence.
No, I'm freaking starved. I didn't get to eat anything today.
I don't think I ever really noticed how much of a pathological liar Napoleon is, or at least a habitual one. We saw him eat lunch and we saw him get this photo.
Is she hot?
See for yourself.
Wow.
Freaking idiot.
That's fair, though. That's fair. Once again, costumes in this film. Wait, is that Greg? Is that Greg?
Kip is like 32 years old.
Which might as well have been 47 or 62 when I was high school age. It's all the same, gross, dirty olds. In 2004, a year before this platform existed, sharing a video like this would be considered embarrassing and not what we'd call it now, content.
Man, I wish I could go back in time. I'd take state.
Want to hear something crazy? I never clocked this toupee, which is insane because, I mean, look at that thing. And I'm not even sure I would have noticed this time if it weren't for knowing that Greg is bald. Point being, first, embrace baldness if you want to. Wear a toupee if you want to. And if you do, know that if it's 5% better than this, ain't nobody noticing.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
Dang, that is not the response you expect, but dang it if it isn't true.
What about your girlfriend?
Well, things are getting pretty serious right now. I mean, we chat online for like 2 hours every day, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
You can say that again, and he did.
Things are getting pretty serious, right? Things are getting pretty serious. I'm just getting really just kind of TO'd because she hasn't even sent me a full body shot yet.
And this bait and switch is one of the sweeter things about this film, especially Rico's utter confusion that he just immediately drops.
I got a little project. We might be able to make a little moolah with it.
Although this one is epic as well, because we all assume it's something shady. Stupid, but also shady, and instead it's a pyramid scheme knockoff of Pampered Chef. Love an artsy little insert of boots on the pegs with Summer's house in the background.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Ah, so lying is a family thing. Everything about this is amazing. His steps into it, the sidearm throw, the sound. No notes, Greg.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains? If Coach would have put me in fourth quarter, we'd have been state champions, no doubt.
And the awful reveal, he wasn't even playing. Rico's sadness is one of the few things that makes him redeemable as a character. He's pretty awful, but you feel for him. Lots of people peak in high school. I'm not even sure he did. Honestly, that he connected with his knee is super impressive. The heart points on those exclamations really hammer the stake home. Weirdly iconic moment of bullying. The flat center framing, Napoleon's empty threat of a kick. Epic. And even more epic if you've seen the documentary and seen how many takes they did. Top tier first world struggle is trying to have a private conversation on the landline without closing the door on the curly Q cord. Self-confidence.
You got a car you can borrow from someone?
Well, that's the problem right now. At the moment, nothing comes to mind.
Welcome to another segment of Lee Explains Why It's Funny. It's because Kip is a full-grown adult displaying a childlike understanding of language. That's the problem implies it can be solved, but there's nothing to be solved. Kip just uses the words and the cadence as if he's heard them before, but doesn't really know what they mean, and goodness, I love it. And really, I need to start incorporating more of this style in my own life. Do I like the movie? See, this is where it gets complicated. I haven't seen it. Something that's becoming my absolute favorite is Rico's dumbfounded stare after pretty much everything Kip says.
How about some gold bracelets?
This is looking really good.
You can say that again.
Deb is clearly a consummate professional because Kip hurt her feelings during their first interaction and she's still doing the work. Also, clearly Kip knows artistry when he sees it. Also, the amount of affirmation that Rico needs to feel joy is so small it breaks my heart.
Has Summer said anything to you yet?
Not yet.
Well, she said no.
She did?
It's hard to shoot your shot, but accepting no is part of life, and Pedro takes it like a champ.
Aren't you pretty good at drawing, like, animals and warriors and stuff?
You'll have to see friendships where they pay attention to each other's interests.
Lance, you look like a strong young pup. Why don't you see if you can give that a nice tear?
You see, sliding his sleeve up is where the power comes from. The look of disgust and disappointment on his wife's face still hurts my feelings to this day.
Dang it!
The instant shatter, and then Kip just driving away knowing the sail is blown.
Napoleon, let go of me. I think you're bruising my neck meat.
Neck meat!
Wish you wouldn't look at me like that, Napoleon.
I wish you'd get out of my life and shut up.
That's an unbeatable comeback. Highest of high-class glamour shot here. Can only assume Deb is behind it. The disgust. Look, I get it. Some talents aren't recognized until they're gone. At first I was like, Preston, that's where they actually filmed this, but it's the wrong eye state.
Do the chickens have large talons?
I don't understand a word you just said.
Even when literally doing manual farm labor, Napoleon still gives off indoor kid energy. Bro must be trying to get shredded with that raw egg. Although I had to look it up this time, and apparently a raw egg in OJ is a thing. The original Orange Julius? I don't know, man. Don't quote me, and don't get salmonella. Also, this lunch has spectacular levels of revulsion. Mostly it's just too many flies. Looks like somebody's not ready to get swole.
$6. It's like $1 an hour.
Child labor, it's making a comeback.
Took me like 3 hours to finish the shading on your upper lip. It's probably the best drawing I've ever done.
And he'd know, John Heder drew it. He drew all of Napoleon's art. It's a female mannequin. This is supposed to be a joke, and yet we get an over 30-second shot of Napoleon just looking baller as hell. It's even funnier that Rico seems to only eat steak when you find out that John Grise is a vegetarian and spit the steak out each and every time. You can even see him doing it on this take. As a 19-year-old, I thought this was gallant for sure. As an adult, I realized Napoleon would be soaked with sweat after this run, even though it's spring in southern Idaho and could be around 50 degrees. Yeah, I looked it up. Also, just in general love that he had no plan. He's running there to pick her up. Pedro's cousin being a true gentleman and letting Trish sit in the front? You might be thinking, Alphaville's Forever Young from 1984? You're definitely wrong about the year. But I tricked you into thinking that, and now you've made me sad because you probably have never been to a high school dance. Anyway, Always Sunny used this song in their high school dance scene a year later, which clearly proves my point. I like that Trish checks to see if Napoleon's there before she leaves. She's not a monster, unlike Summer, who is a monster. They still make Big League Chew, which rocks, but good luck finding candied cigarettes anymore. The hypocrisy of it all. Oh my gosh, this can't be real. it was just supposed to be a joke, but you can actually still find them. It's probably illegal for me to show you, so I'm not gonna show you.
If you can't find Trisha, I'll let you dance with Deb for a few songs.
Deb is her own person, but I appreciate that Pedro is just looking out for his buddy. Also, Deb's side eye, like she wasn't totally scoping out the merchandise. Movie dances are never able to capture the awkward size and feel of school dances like this.
I like your sleeves. They're real big.
Thank you. I made them myself.
Compliments and confidence. Love seeing a kid not shy away from a compliment. Someday I'll learn it too.
I could do a personal portrait sometime, if you wanted to come over.
Okay.
Nice. Modern YA movies wish they could achieve this level of tension with a capital T. Again, Cyndi Lauper put Time After Time out in '83, but we still play it because no one has written anything better in decades. Top 5 slow dance song. Anyone who's seen Strictly Ballroom knows what I'm talking about. Another killer shirt. I know one of you has sourced all these shirts and owns them, and I wouldn't hate it if you shared the info.
It's a time machine, Napoleon. We bought it online.
Or, what if Rico's time machine plan was successfully unsuccessful, and that's why this movie's time frame feels so wonky? Like he just pulled a bunch of different time periods together and created a new timeline?
Like, what are my skills?
Well, you have a sweet bike, and you're really good at hooking up with chicks. Plus, you're like the only guy at school who has a mustache.
Hype man Napoleon dropping cold hard facts.
So are you ready?
Yeah, hold on. I forgot to put in the crystals.
Everyone knows those are what make time travel possible.
It's a piece of crap. It doesn't work.
I could have told you that.
And there were hints that Rico had tried it.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
This tastes like the cow got into an onion patch.
Correct.
Yes.
Even though Napoleon loves to brag about crazy stuff, he is still pretty unassuming about normal stuff. So I love these little moments that remind us he is actually good at stuff, while still creating lines we'll repeat forever and ever.
That little guy right there. He is nipple number 5. A good dairy cow should have like 4.
Love the non-committal yet correct answer. There's a Preston jacket. I'm realizing that Don has mastered this face.
Can I have one of those buttons?
Got him. Get you a friend like Napoleon. Love that Pedro doesn't even take his Future Farmers of America medal off for baths.
Sorry.
Capital T. The thing is, the wig looks pretty good on Pedro. The A-Team theme really makes anything feel epic, but high marks for ending on the hard-style handshake. No one ever notices or cares, which is pretty accurate. Kip's arc from wormy little dude to love-struck boy who LaFonda actually likes gets me every time. They've spent hours actually talking to each other online, and they're in love. In 2004, this concept still seems sort of out there, but 21 years later, it's clear that online friendships and relationships can be just as important as IRL ones. Also, we're an hour into this movie, and this is the first time we realize Kip has braces because it's the first time in the entire movie that he's smiled. Plus, he brought her a vase of flowers.
You girls give me a call if you feel like you could use some.
I know Rico is mostly just trying to make money here, but like, don't be a creepy guy in a van to high school girls is a pretty clear line in pursuit of that cheddar. However, the tail hanging from the mirror is kind of dope. Also, the amount of thought-out copy in this ad is impressive. However, there is a typo. The product is called Bust Must Plus, which, while gross, is still kind of clever. But below it's called Must Bust Plus, which, now that I think about it, sounds like an entirely different product, and I'm just gonna move on. Generosity. Also, whether Kip recommended the gold bracelets for him and Rico because he likes them, or his style was being influenced by his soulmate, he clearly likes the necklace, so LaFonda gets him. Incredible yelp. The timing on the face-off is killer. They both sort of look like they're gonna move, then don't, and you think maybe they'll talk, and then Napoleon just goes for it.
Now, get off of me, Bodagget!
Bodagget. Perfect fall. Looks like it genuinely hurt. Dequan has pitch meeting eyes. There's a theory that this is the second place trophy from '82 when the coach didn't put Rico in, but to me it looks like third place. Either way, football trophy for sure. Dragon Slayer? That's the second best dragon-themed movie after Reign of Fire.
Are you ready to get your groove on?
Yes.
All right then, let's get started.
Responding to the VHS feels very on brand for Napoleon. The way this 3 seconds has forever changed the way I drink Gatorade. Whatever reason for the makeover, LaFonda clearly gives Kip the confidence to dress differently and express who he really is.
Napoleon, I'm sure there's a babe out there for you too.
I think babe is probably a little objectifying or condescending in general, but Kip says it with such sincere belief, both tacitly about his soulmate and Napoleon's future, that it kind of wipes all the negativity away.
Peace out.
You know, my brother Travis, the one in his very own Truman Show, has been saying peace out like that for decades, and I totally forgot this is where it's from. Obviously, that makes it a win.
Striking features. Such a soft face should be complemented with a soft body. Napoleon told me you'd be interested.
Nah, don't care what his motives are. Line crossed, not cool.
Rico, you are relieved of squad command.
I still see vote for Pedro shirts out in the wild.
Come here, boy.
Muffins.
Who wants to eat chimichangas next year? Not me.
Oh my gosh, I just thought she didn't like Deadpool. She's racisming? Dang, I miss when that used to make you lose elections. Nope. Look, Don sucks, but he's being a supportive boyfriend, and that's not nothing.
Pedro, just listen to your heart.
Now Napoleon is jumping way ahead from 84 to 88 with that lyric pull, and using Jamiroquai's Canned Heat is absolutely inspired. That he keeps his hands in his pockets for the beginning is A+ showmanship. But this scene is still just so good. The first time you watch it, you think, holy crap, Jon Heder is an amazing dancer. On rewatch, you realize it's not really about the technique, it's the confidence, the energy. That's why he absolutely tears it up. And a little classified info? That's the secret to dancing. Let's be clear, not professionally, but at a show, a club, a wedding, this is it. Napoleon just commits and loses himself in the moment. And it's beyond engaging. He's feeling it, so we're feeling it. Sure, the song helps, it's a jam, but the second he kicks his feet out, you know it's on. This is what dancing for fun is supposed to be, not good, just free. Summer's dance is intentionally bland so Napoleon's hits harder, but it's also calculated. They're following the moves. It's clean and rehearsed, and it's nothing like what Napoleon does. Summer's dance is JV basketball, Napoleon's is the N1 mixtape tour. It's not pro, but nobody watching cares. Deb gets it. Also, the shy girl is the one who starts the standing O for Napoleon. Gotcha. And you can tell it's freestyle by the way he doesn't have an ending and just bails. Patrick Street's cover of Penguin Cafe Orchestra's Music for a Found Harmonium Kicking In Here takes the tone from silly little indie movie about weirdos to a heartfelt coming-of-age story, and as it continues, you realize that's what it's been all along. Like, here's Napoleon walking, still with a tee tucked into jeans, acting like he didn't just change the world through the power of dance, and now we all kind of want to be him. Bro's the hero. God, the genuine chemistry and vibes here are off the charts. And oh my goodness, is this Napoleon's only smile in the movie? It's about Kip finding love and moving out? Love a happy and romantic ending, and that Kip gets away from Rico. Run, Tammy! For so many reasons, but I guess I'm happy that things even work out for Gary. And Pedro's family threw him a party for winning? Gosh, the feels are getting to me today.
You want to play me?
Truly the perfect ending to this film. Deb joins Napoleon for a game of tetherball, something we've only ever seen him do by himself. And they don't play by the rules at all, which is fine, but because it's Napoleon, he still slams the ball, beats her super quick, and is stoked about it, and then posts up for a high five. And because Deb is literally the best, she high fives him. The love story always takes me off guard, regardless of what kind of love this ends up being. And obviously the needle drop is perfect. 88 again with When in Rome. Jon Heder has said he and Jared Hess want to make a realistic sequel to this film, and the only thing I think they absolutely have to do is end the film on Sturgill Simpson's cover of this song. I can't believe Napoleon Dynamite has a post-credits scene pre-MCU that I never knew about until now. Appropriate reaction. That's clearly Jon Heder, which I give him props for because he does not look comfortable or in control. Bros for life. I don't think I have much to add to what's already been said about this movie. It's a cultural icon and milestone, especially for people my age, aka olds. Like I said, I had just graduated high school a year before it came out, and while I didn't have the easiest time relating to Southern Idaho, so much of the experience felt correct to me. Small town, small school, popular kids, crushes, severely overestimating your skill levels, make yourself a dang quesadilla, Tina you fat lard, come get your dinner, that kind of stuff. In fact, one of my best friends was told he reminded people of Napoleon for a while after this movie, and now he's 6'3" and literally carved from granite. I mean, he was always 6'3", but he added the muscle and rippling abs in college. So I'd watch a sequel. I'd bet my life savings it won't have the impact or runaway success of this movie, but that's pretty much par for the course with movies like this and their legacy sequels. Doesn't mean they shouldn't make it, but I swear if Kip and LaFonda are split... For now, I'll just go see what happens with Uncle Rico in the finale of The White Lotus. Next week, a gooey one. Oh, and if you missed last week and you want to hear me say not so nice things about Gladiator 2, sign up for Nebula and go watch that video. I made a video.
I bet you folks don't have one of these.